The Tour de France stays in Belgium for stage 2, an 124-mile day over the lumpy hills of the Ardennes forest. As the tempo picks up, the weather breaks down and fortune's wheel begins to turn for the worse. Slick roads and high speeds can be a deadly combination for a contender's ambition. Again, the men campaigning for the overall win proceed with caution. Their days to shine are further down the road. It's been 25 years since a Frenchman won the Tour. It won't end the drought, but Sylvain Chavanel's early breakaway could ease the suffering with a stage win. Minutes behind him, the peloton gets caught up in a brutal crash. Armstrong and Contador both go down, as does American Christian Vande Velde and last year's runner-up, Andy Schleck.
Well, second last year in the Tour de France, he is looking extremely unhappy. He's flexing his arm, but he can't move the upper arm. That looks like a collarbone to me. And let's hope it is not, as the rider's now very concerned here. Well, Breshel's giving him the bike, and Schleck has got back on it.
Schleck is a climber. If he's to win the Tour, he can't lose time here in an early stage. It would make his job in the mountains too steep to overcome.
It looks as if Andy Schleck has actually recovered a fraction, and he's now starting to ride himself back into this race. He looked dazed when he was at the side of the road, but it really is amazing what a professional bike rider will do. All of a sudden, you get back into that zone when you know, what have I got to do? Get back into the race.
There's an unwritten code in the Tour. When a potential winner has an accident, the peloton generally slows to let him catch up. They do so here, allowing Chavanel the honor of a cyclist's career.
10 years since he rode his first Tour de France. That's a long time to wait for the biggest reward in the world of cycling. Sylvain Chavanel will be the maillot jaune tomorrow when we go home to France.
With 3 more weeks of racing ahead and the day's victory decided, the peloton slows to a crawl coming across the line. Sylvain Chavanel has earned a bit of glory for France, while American Christian Vande Velde's broken ribs have punched his ticket out of the Tour. Vande Velde came in with high hopes for a podium finish, but they've been laid low by the unpredictable nature of cycling. One moment, you're on the way to the front, the next, you're heading for the hospital. The Tour is not just about who's faster, it's also a matter of survival.
This is the Tour de France, you know, I mean, first week, everybody's fresh, everyone's nervous. There's always crashes. That's the history of the race. And when they send us on courses like this, it just makes it worse. And, you know, I don't know if that's what they want to see. They want to see us bleeding, but it definitely adds a new element to the race. It's pure survival.
Coming up, the granddaddy of bike races takes on the hell of the North. It's cobblestones and chaos in stage 3 of the Tour de France. They call it the Hell of the North. Part of the spring cycling season, the Paris-Roubaix race features an infernal number of bone-jarring, bike-breaking cobblestone sections. This year, the Tour de France crosses many of those same sections in stage 3.
This is a tough day. It's got everybody on edge. I mean, even you saw yesterday that was part of the pre-stress for today. I mean, the first few days. So everybody's ready and slightly scared, or very scared, I should say.
How's your confidence for this round?
I think it's good. I think it's good. I don't want to be overly confident. I mean, it's dangerous.
Powering over the cobblestones is an acquired skill. Andy Schleck and Alberto Contador have little experience on them, but Lance Armstrong does. And just as he predicted, riders fight a high-strung battle for position in and out of the bumps. Andy's brother and teammate Frank Schleck gets caught up in the panic and goes down hard.
Cancellara, Andy Schleck, Cadel Evans, Thor Hushoff are driving at the front. 4 of the strongest bike riders in the world suddenly projected to the head of the peloton.
His brother's pain opens the door to Andy's opportunity. The crash has broken up the race. Schleck is now in a small lead group with Armstrong chasing close behind. Further back is Contador. With Saxo teammate Cancellara setting the tempo, Schleck can make valuable time on his biggest threats. An Armstrong flat tire allows Contador to leapfrog him, but the Spaniard's still short of the lead group.
Armstrong will not give up. He's a great competitor, a great challenger. Popovich says, hold on, mate, wait for me. I can still help you a little bit on the running towards the finish.
The power of Armstrong as he starts to stamp on those pedals. He's desperate now. He's got across. He always has loved riding the cobblestones. He goes so well on them. And now it's all down to him. Him against the boys up front.
Well, he's looking for a minute to try and pull back to Alberto Contador.
In amongst the cars here is the figure of Armstrong. He looks like the coal miner from the forest of Arenberg. He's totally black in the face.
He's fighting to keep himself in this Tour de France, his last Tour de France now, as we look at the front end of the main field. Fabian Cancellara, again, no prisoners in this one. He's just doing the pressure, keeping the pace as high as possible. All he's thinking about is Andy Schleck. Andy, we've got to try and get some time on these flat stages to try and keep you in with a chance of winning the Tour de France this year.
Well, Armstrong is crossing, and look at this. Because of the huge effort he made on those cobblestones, the referees are making him ride the gap. They've called the cars away from this group, but Armstrong is accelerating. You'll just shut your eyes, shut the pain out, and cross to that group.
Well, Armstrong has done a ride to get himself back into a group, and that was an extremely big effort by Armstrong.
Now partnered with additional riders, Armstrong is still well back from Schleck in his lead group. In between Armstrong and Schleck, Contador has ridden better than anyone expected, but he's still losing time on Andy.
As we race towards the finish now, it is Andy Schleck on the right, Torhushoff on the left of our picture. Is Big Tor, the God of Thunder, going to fire again now? As he comes clear, he takes the stage.
It looks as if Alberto Contador may well have been just dropped off on the run in towards the finish.
The clock continues to count. Take a look down the road here. So in the end, it wasn't such a great finish for Alberto.
He's not looking happy at all.
No, I think he's got a back tyre gone down on him there.
As usual, Armstrong's efforts have been heroic, but the man is clearly vulnerable.
Just went at it alone, stuck in the cars and eating dirt and dodging people, but no complaints. I mean, that's bad luck was with me today, and you know, look at the results. Everybody thought, oh, the climbers are going to lose minutes today, and they were the ones in the front, and the guy who was supposed to take advantage of it was the one in the back, and that's the nature of racing. So I have to accept that and go on and do my best in the next 2.5 weeks.
The jarring effect of the cobblestones has shaken the race up. Lance Armstrong has dropped from 5th to 18th. Contador has also lost some time, but not enough for major concern. The big winners on the day, Cadel Evans, Andy Schleck, and his teammate Cancellara. The hell of the North is behind them, and the sprinters have had their day.
The Manx missile is back. Mark Cavendish will win this. No one in the world will beat him.
The race now heads for the Alps. In the mountains, the road may prove smoother, but the suffering has only just begun. The Tour de France has a hard-earned reputation as the toughest race in the world. Pushing the peloton over the High Alps, the Massif Central, and the Pyrenees, the 2010 Tour features 10 mountain stages. On a climbing day, riders burn up to 9,000 calories and can lose a gallon of sweat every 4 hours. The suffering is relentless. The physical toll, excruciating. Stage 8 runs for 117 miles to a summit finish in Morzine-Avoriaz, a full plate for any rider. The challenge tilts towards success with an early crash that sends Armstrong off the road and Cadel Evans to the pavement. Both get back in the race, but it's a bad sign of what lies ahead. Coming into the serious climbing of the day, Armstrong clips a pedal at 40 miles per hour and goes down hard. Bleeding and tattered, he catches the overall contenders group only to get tied up in another wreck.
Armstrong sitting a fair way back down the group now, letting other people do the pacemaking. He's got Yanni Brakovic just behind him. He's riding a different machine. He crashed earlier on. His saddle was ripped off his bike when they went through the small town of Anmelo. Another crash in the middle of the road. And that's stopped Armstrong again. This is not his day.
This is unbelievable. A straight road, and he can't believe it. This time he just cannot believe that has happened.
With the throttle open at the front of the peloton, Armstrong has no chance of making up the distance to them. After years of good luck on France's roads, Lance's fortunes have gone bust.
Well, the group Armstrong now is a massive 6.5 minutes behind the Contador group. Lance Armstrong's Tour de France ended today for the win overall.
Contador still dancing, still waiting. He hasn't yet had to attack at all in this Tour. He may well just postpone it and wait till he gets down to the Pyrenees.
Well, there's the pursuit, the white jersey of Andy Schleck. We've always said he can win the Tour one day. He said he's had white, but he wants that, as he pointed at Chavanel's yellow jersey this morning.
The man who's best placed in this group, don't forget, is Cadel Evans. Cadel Evans has a 30-second advantage in the overall standings over Andy Schleck and almost a 1-minute advantage over Alberto Contador. I don't think Contador's going to put a minute into Cadel Evans on a stage like this.
And look at this now. This is Kreuziger. They're going to have to come after him.
Well, Kreuziger made the move there. Immediately, Alberto Contador covers the move. Andy Schleck straight across there, and so too Cadel Evans. Cadel Evans, Phil, is riding himself into a yellow jersey at the end of today's stage, and still, Andy Schleck is sitting there. He's locked onto the wheel of Alberto Contador. Watch out for the win this afternoon. I think it may well go to Andy Schleck, because he's feeling pretty good.
Well, we are witnessing a battle duel here between the greatest climbers in the world. They are all in the pain barrier. There is no one holding anything back. They are really suffering now. It's he who gauges it. One last effort will win the day.
Well, Contador just looks so cool and collected there in second position. He's covered every acceleration. There's the move by Andy Schleck.
Schleck has gone with an incredible look at the reaction by Alberto Contador. And there's a slow reaction. Sanchez, the Olympic champion's got onto the wheel of Contador. And Sanchez is going to go past Contador. Andy Schleck is gritting his teeth.
That's pushed Cadel Evans right to the back of this group with that acceleration. Don't forget, Cadel crashed at the 6 kilometers. But where is Alberto Contador? He's not able to respond to this acceleration.
I tell you what, they're going to take a lot of strength from this, as the mountains are only just starting. They found the little hole in the armor. A final kick now.
Sammy Sanchez has got the sprint. Andy Schleck's coming up alongside him. They're into the finishing straightway.
The crowd see the Tour de France, and Avori has a second kick by the Olympic champion. It's not enough. It just was not enough. Andy Schleck has won the battle today.
Armstrong arrives over 11 minutes after Schleck. His hope for an 8th yellow jersey has been killed. To this end, it wasn't his body that let him down. It was the nature of the game that took him out. His fitness was good. His luck was bad.
Madhouse here.
Yeah, thanks for your patience.
Just the one roundabout there before Ramaz, I clipped the pedal and the front tire rolled off, and then the next thing I know, I was rolling on the ground at 60, 65 an hour, and just hard to come back, hard on the body, and then we didn't make it back until the start of the Ramaz, and I was pegged